So in this video, we will cover the top websites and resources that every Path of Exile 2 player should be aware of to level up their game. Trading, min-maxing gear, and even just helping develop our understanding of the game's complex mechanics, these tools have something for all exiles, beginners, and veteran players alike. And hey, if you find value in today's video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what resources you found helpful or find helpful, as there may be some I have yet to discover. Let's have a look. Starting right out with something pretty amazing will actually be two different overlays for price matching and mapping that interface directly into the game itself. Unfortunately, since these are separate apps, these cannot be applied to console versions of the game. Feel free to skip to the next section. One being Sidekick and the other being Exiled Exchange. Have these open while playing and you'll receive some pretty convenient overlays and shortcuts. As they are both pretty similar, you can decide which one suits you better. And as time goes on, there will be more tools added, so just keep an eye out. I'll also list updates in the community tab of this channel as well. I'll list the websites here, but also obviously all of the ones I'm going to talk about will be in the description. But going to one or both of these sites, you will download and install these apps. Once in-game, or if in-game already, they will appear in your taskbar. They should open when you open PoE 2, but if not, just open the application as you would any other application. Once you open up the tools, you'll see that they'll have mapping tools. It will show and reflect difficulty and other vital information, but my personal favorite is the price checker tool. I'll show both of these simultaneously so you save time, but I do prefer to use Sidekick setup as it visually shows more kind of the direct information from the Path of Exile 2 trade website. Both are very handy, and you can specify on certain stats to get even more specific results. This is a great way to start trading items with confidence. You'll also be able to cross-reference these prices with, say, something maybe in the trade chat that catches your eye. Within the overlays settings, you can set your keybinds to anything you'd like. Alt-D is what I have for Sidekick, but I use F9 for Exiled Exchange. If you have both apps, you may need to make the bindings different, as there's some shortcut conflicts between the two. I'll have a more trade-specific video out next week, so stand by for that. Speaking of keybinds, you can even enable those for chat commands. Yes, PoE 2 has chat commands, but with Exiled Exchange and Sidekick, you can keybind these things to bring you, say directly to the hideout or open a town portal. I'm sure there will be plenty more to come from both of these developers, so I definitely recommend giving one or both a try. Next up, without a solid understanding of the game's systems, it's easy to get overwhelmed and a bit discouraged. And if you spend a good bit of money like I did to get access to the access, then we really want to experience all that the game has to offer. These tools will help you get the most out of the game and also save you a lot of time and resources, all the while teaching you how things work from the ground up. So then head on over to the PoE 2 database. Here we go to modifiers and see exactly what prefixes and suffixes can roll onto a selected type of gear: helmet, weapon, amulet. We're going to see what the possibilities are for a particular thing you may want to craft on. The idea is starting with the cheapest, most common orbs and gear. Use the website resource here to narrow down your chances at certain stats, thus wasting as little currency as possible. You can do this all the way up to a rare item, but really, if it doesn't roll right, then throw it out before you proceed too far and spend your precious exalted orbs, which are very valuable and kind of the go-to currency for good gear on the marketplace. You can look up an exact item and see its implicit stat, which is a permanent stat that piece of gear always has that is in addition to the prefixes and suffixes. You could say, look up the base item with the highest damage roll, so you know, for example, what crossbow will likely have the highest base number damage. That is obviously very desirable. You could use it. You can also sell it on the marketplace for a good bit of currency. And when I mention marketplace, I'm always talking about pathofexile.com/trade2. That's this Path of Exile 2 trade spot. So writing a couple of these down maybe so you can keep your eye out for perfect equipment for your build is not a bad idea. This goes for jewelry and stuff as well. So definitely give this a try, as it's invaluable, and many of the veterans are very familiar with this website resource already. Okay, so the next website is a work in progress, but very dope, that being craftofexile.com. Very similar to the last in terms of gear information, but here we introduce some probabilities when it comes to using currency and orbs to craft. So make sure you're in the PoE 2 version, and let's check this thing out together real quick. There's a lot of jelly in these donuts. Play with it and mess around with it on your own as well, but essentially look up the item base or whatever it is and type the currency you might want to upgrade it with. And then add the mods it already has, being prefixes and suffixes. You do this with right click and then the desired mod with left click. This will give us a calculation based on the tier on getting the one we want and in the desired tier as well. I haven't personally tested these exalted results, but you get the idea. I'm not the number guy for all this, although same as PoE Database, it provides a nice look at the gear and the stats. Some of the stuff, if we played long enough, we'll probably begin to memorize, but I think that's the idea here, is kind of learning all of the new pieces of gear and the roles on such. Now we have one you all might have heard of, and that's actually part of the point, and you'll see here in a second why, but drum roll for Maxroll.gg. Coming along nicely is the build planner, and for obvious reasons, it's a great way to break it down, theory craft, got the prefixes, suffixes, a skill tree everyone is blown away by. All that good shit, it's all there and you can click until your heart's content. But what I've used it for is looking at the desirable items on popular builds. These are good pieces in high demand and I find them, I make craft on them or sell them just as bases to the masses. I haven't really done sold them to the masses a whole lot, but I imagine this could be a very good way to farm exalted orbs. Okay, here we go, bringing her in for a landing. Last but not least, Filterblade. This is the go-to spot for your loot filter needs. Never Sink doing God's work on these, but they're highly customizable, look and sound amazing, and should be releasing a full version fairly soon. So keep a watch and check out my 2-minute guide if you need help installing these. I promise it's incredibly simple. That'll be at the end of the video, but yeah, you may be aware of this already, but links to your account. So I believe you could have console integration in the future as well. Maybe someone can clear this up down below for us. Maybe you only want to see those crazy good base items or only certain currencies. You got different builds. It's all easy to use manner. It will create the filter for you. There's a light version out already. That's the one I've been using and I demo in the video I made. But yeah, get to it, get back out there, try these out for yourself, give them a go. It's a great time for learning. We're only in early access and should be playing for years. So let's do this together. Whether you're a seasoned player looking to optimize, a newcomer trying to learn the ropes, these resources are for everyone. Follow along for more basic tutorials and guide content, as well as some cosmetic stuff. Good luck out there with your drops, your builds, your life. Happy holidays. I'll see you on the next one. Later.